Brims at the beach, representing 843. Wearing peakies, swishers, funky brims and more. You see,
Brims at the beach, representing 843.
843.
Wearing peakies, swishers, funky brims and more.
That's me.
Yo, what's up everybody? Brian with Brims at the Beach, back again today with another review. And this one I'm also very excited about. This is from a company that I have not yet acquired any hats from until now. Scally-Wags. Scally-Wags, it looks like these guys are out of the Northeast. They, I believe all their hats are American made, which is interesting. Not a whole lot of hat makers out there that have hats made in the United States. But I was excited to place an order with Scally-Wags. They have some cool looking stuff. So today we're going to try on the Scally-Wags. Let me try to remember what I got. I have the Irish Stout that came in today. The Irish Stout. And I have it in size large, extra large. So we're gonna unbox this thing and we're gonna take a look at how that thing fits and what we think of it. As always, starting off with a hat on the head today, and one of my favorites again from Peaky Hat. This one is, I believe, the OG Solo, if I recall. This one is the OG Solo. I wanted a little bit warmer hat, a little cooler weather hat. So this one I'm not wearing too much this time of year. But up in my nice air-conditioned man cave here, I can throw that on and not have to worry about sweating it out too bad. So one of the cool things I love about this hat is just the style, the look, the fit. And again, a big, huge fan of the faux razor, the fake razor in there. I think that's the coolest thing ever. So again, Peaky Hat, OG Solo, solid choice. But again, back to the task at hand. Let's chat a little bit about Scally-Wags. So again, as I open the box for Scally-Wags, one of the things that pops out at me here again is the packaging. So this thing is wrapped up pretty neat. It's in like a burlap bag. I mean, it's crunched up in here a little bit, but I think it'll work out pretty well. So this is pretty cool. We're gonna open this up. Also inside the box, you have a nice little mailer in here, and again, on there it says Scally-Wags 2012 Never Going Hi-Hat. And on the back it talks a little bit about what hi-hat is. So hi-hat it refers to an individual who is trying to put on airs, selling out, big timing, or attempting to rise above his or her station. Pretty cool. So we got a little bit of some jargon here. So again, talking about, there's just a bunch of stuff on the back here. I kind of put that up to the camera. I don't know if you can see that or not, but also in the Scally-Wags box, there was an American flag vinyl sticker, which I thought was kind of cool. So let's unbox this thing, or let's unbag this thing and see what we have. So I'll go ahead and open this thing up. And even inside here, it looks like it's bagged again. So inside the bag, it's inside of another bag. I like this. This looks cool as could be. And again, this is the Irish Stout. So it is wrinkled up a little bit. Nothing a little steam couldn't fix. Y'all didn't see my steamer video. I published that a couple days ago. Go check that out. And inside here, again, they have some paper, kind of stuffing that up. Well, let's take a look at this lid. This is really cool. First glance at this, it is definitely a heavier hat. It feels like it's quilted. This one's probably going to have to get put away until the summertime. Or, I'm sorry, the summertime, geez-o, the wintertime. Cool looking pattern on this. And in the back we have the little white Irish clover, pretty cool. Inside, you know me, you've heard me talk a little bit about the labels inside, about how much, being a bald guy, certainly there's an impact of having a good, comfortable label inside the hat. I like the liners, how they're decorative, and how they have a little bit of patch and personality, even though that's not something you see. It's something that I see when I put on the hat. And this is no different. I mean, it's got a nice little patch in there. It feels like a sewn-in patch. It is definitely a sewn-in patch. And not that vinyl patch that sticks to your head like a suction cup, or just is really uncomfortable. Again, kind of taking a look at the brims so that you can see the size on that. So pretty cool. All right, we're going to take a look at this on the table and see what we think. Okay, so we got this laid out on the table here, and again, this is the Scally-Wags Irish Stout. And again, nice wool hat, looks pretty cool. Let's take a look at this. And again, for you guys that are kind of watching my videos or seeing a couple of these now, you're probably wondering what I'm laying out on. I'm actually up in my man cave. I have a pool table up here. So I've been doing a lot of my videos on my pool table, kind of keeping a consistent view. But that's what the felt is there. So for any of you pool players, it's a Simonis 860 HD cloth on there, nice and fast. Stuff that you would see at a pool tournament or at nationals if you play at any APA or BCA. Anyway, I digress. So let's jump back into this hat again. So when we take a look at this, let's throw this up here front and center. Get that centered up real nice. So again, really nice material. It is definitely nice heavy duty material. Doesn't feel cheap at all. Feels really well made. In fact, I'm kind of looking forward to it getting cooler again. I know we're just getting into the teeth of the summer here down here in South Carolina. But this thing has got some teeth to it in terms of warmth. And you know what? Again, being a bald guy, when it gets cold, I like a little bit of a warm cap on the head. Keep you warm, keep the body warm, right? So again, inside this hat, love this label. I think that's cool. And then again, just a little bit of a touch, nice touch here, an accent. One of the things I do not have a lot of at this point in time are embroidered hats, hats that have any level of embroidery on the back. So this is intriguing me a little bit because I don't have that. And it's just, to me, it's sort of, you know, kind of a lot of us are accessorize, I think, the hats with the pins. But having that little bit of embroidery on there too, I think that really kind of sets it apart from some of the other hats that I have. And of course, this design, really cool design on this hat. You know, good solid looking brim, nicely centered. You know, we don't have the center line coming off to the side, which is always a bonus. And again, just cool brim. Nice. The brim was already bent. I'm a little bit of a bent brim guy. I'm not a straight brim guy. So from back playing baseball back in the day, I always like to bend my brim a little bit. So again, we're going to go ahead and try this on and see what we think. Check out that fit and see how it lays. All right, so we're back. We're going to go ahead and take off our OG Solo. Again, another huge favorite of mine. Put that one to the side. Let's try this Scally-Wags on. So we'll give it a little bit more of, I always give it the traditional sort of, got to flex it in a little bit. Let's try this on. Wow, what a nice fit. The brim on this one feels like it's a little bit longer, and this sort of ducky brimmed, but definitely a cool look. Zoom in on this a little bit. I really like this a lot. And you know what? I'll be honest with you, for a quilted hat, it does not feel as heavy as I expected it to. I expect this to really sit heavy on here, and when you kind of, sometimes when you get these hats too that have these quilted liners, it doesn't sit quite right on your head. Like, to me, you know, where my ears are and how this hat sits down on my head and how it kind of just envelops right on my head, you can kind of see I don't have any poof in here at all. I really like this a lot. Nice hat. Man, there aren't too many hats I don't like, but this one has definitely got my attention. And again, this is my first foray into the Scally-Wags products, so you guys might have me hooked. Great job. You know, I kind of throwing some ratings around on this. I would give this about an 8.6. It's definitely a nice hat. And again, I'd love to get this on my head in the cooler weather, but let me know what you think. And again, guys, I hope you're appreciating the videos and the different content I'm putting out there. We're going to be putting some different things up. Again, some great things to come. Maybe some collaborations with some folks, who knows? Also like to get some guests on here, maybe do a couple live ones. Talk about what, you know, what different hats mean to them. I think that a lot of folks journey into sort of the hat game in different reasons, for different reasons in different ways. And I'd love to talk about that a little bit with you. So if it's something you're interested in, certainly ping me at Brims at the Beach, and let's talk about maybe coming on and tell me your story a little bit. I want to hear your story about how it is that you journeyed into whether it's the hat groups on Facebook, whether it's, you know, our folks, some of our friends, the Gentleman's Roundtable, or other videos, or other groups that are putting out some live content. I know me personally, and if you've seen some of my videos, I think part of what I do, and I work in the technology industry. My wife's an attorney, so tends to be a lot of work-related stress around our house. I tend to do a little bit of travel, again, for my job. And to me, the hat game is twofold. One is for years, again, being a bald guy, and now especially us living down here in Myrtle Beach, my wife is very, very concerned with me having my head exposed all the time to the sun and worrying about picking up cancers and melanoma and other related things that baking yourself in the sun can lend itself to. Couple friends out there certainly that have been dealing with that fight. I know my mom had some melanoma removed off her face. A friend of mine, Dennis, one of my pool teammates, just had a bunch of spots on his head removed, and he's also getting into the game as well. But to me, I was always a baseball guy, and I always wore baseball hats. And for some reason, I just hit a point where baseball hats just weren't comfortable for me anymore. Like, I don't know if it was a combination of the, they weren't comfortable. They didn't vent. Just the feel was off. Some of these Scally caps that you put on, these peakies, other hats that we're wearing, they don't even feel like they're on your head. To me, I'm out mowing the lawn in the sun now with my, stuff like my Starkowski Rusties on, and covering my head up a little bit and throwing some style around what we do. Again, I've never been a guy that's been much into fashion or much into style. I think that's a secondary piece to a lot of this, but it's been kind of fun and kind of cool getting compliments from folks. Again, not Mr. GQ here. I think I made some comments the other day that from Mother's Day where I had my I married way up with my wife and outkicked my coverage, as they say. And as I'm standing next to her and I'm wearing a hat, just to kind of maybe look a little better and feel a little better about yourself. I don't know that that's a bad thing either. So I've certainly enjoyed, the social aspects of this, just being able to jump into these groups and not have the stress of the day and let that all wash away and have some fun with this. And that's really my main goal. But my secondary goal too is again to, protect myself, try to be here for my kids. So not come down with cancer. And it seems really prevalent for a lot of people right now. So again, like and comment, subscribe, throw me some messages. I'd love to hear about some of the content you want to hear. Again, I think we're planning here in the short term, going to do a Scally Cap 101. One of my neighbors who's doing some pins for me actually said, hey, I'm kind of new to this game. I've done trucker hats before. He does some custom trucker hats. But he's like, all these other types of hats that you guys are talking about, he goes, I don't know anything about it. He goes, I'd like to know a little bit about it. So I think we're going to do a little bit of a sort of a Scally Cap 101. Like what are the different caps? And I know I'm, as a guy that's new to the game myself, sort of late January, early February, I'd like to learn a little more about them myself. I'm certainly not the foremost expert. I'm here to have some fun and enjoy it. So again, guys, thank you for everybody that tuned in. If you stuck around this long, again, like and subscribe, share it out to your friends, and always looking for some comments on how we can do it better. Have a great day, everybody.
Brims at the beach, representing 843. Wearing peakies, swishes, funky brims and more. You see,
Brims at the beach, representing 843.
843.
Wearing peakies, swishes, funky brims and more.
That's me.